Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another jam-packed edition of the OverMark Podcast. We're your hosts, Dave and TJ. I think we figured out he's this
Nope.
way. Maybe it was
There you
that
go.
way.
That way, but they
Yeah,
can't see when you're poking. You gotta hook. There you go. You got it.
like that. Yeah. I'm Dave. That's TJ. You're the viewers or listeners or however it is that you're consuming this show today. And welcome. Hope
Here we
everybody had a
are.
nice week. Yeah. Nice Royal Rumble UFC weekend. Decent Raw. We got some things to talk about today. How's it going, TJ?
Um, Not too bad. Just getting into the work week. Didn't work Monday. We got snowed out from the snow we got over the weekend. Got about like 8 inches. Which is a lot for this area. They can't handle it. And then but so what you were talking about, we had the Royal Rumble. We'll get into that in a second. We'll talk about us real quick. Then we'll jump into the wrestling. But not too much
Yeah,
is going on really. Just work, come home. I got that PS3 Slim or whatever, and I modded it. Got that terabyte hard drive in there, and got it jailbroken, and got the some of the games on there that I'm wanting to play. I was playing Wild Arms, like I told you, the original
yeah,
one, before we got on here. So having fun with that. And like I told you, I'm going to try to I think I'm going to try to beat all of them this year. We'll see if I get around to that, but that's the plan. And yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, it's so easy to mod that thing, Dave. It's nuts. It's like the only thing that's easier is a PS2.
yeah. I think probably the next thing that I'm gonna buy is gonna be a PS2.
Well, just
They
think,
seem they seem to be going up in price, and that's
it's not that simple.
yeah.
So you got to think, how are you going to hook that up to your TV?
Well, I'll
Haven't thought about
figure
that,
it
have
out.
you?
Nope.
Here's the good thing about the
Let
PS3.
me let me tell you how I'm gonna hook it up to my TV. I'm gonna go to one of the many Goodwill, Salvation
Hell
Army
yeah.
thrift stores that I have in my area, and believe me, there's a lot of them between my house and the 5 counties that I drive around for work. I'll find myself a nice CRT TV relatively cheap and throw that bitch in the back of the work van, bring it straight on home. I got a spot on the desk right over here.
That's
I
awesome.
could put it, or actually it probably wouldn't be good on this desk. I mean, the desk is like a 220-pound capacity, but CRT TVs are pretty heavy. I'd probably
But hold up.
put it somewhere else. We'll figure it out.
Here's what I was going to tell you. The PS3 has HDMI, so you don't have to worry about any of that. It's just kind of like a plug and play solution, and it looks good. It works on your modern devices. It's the same controller through PS1, 2, and 3. You don't have to switch anything up. So I think for like a convenience point of view, like if you don't want to fuck around with anything but one console, you got like a 3-in-1 type situation. It's pretty
I
nice.
honestly think that I have a PlayStation 3 in my garage.
Well, you should definitely look because if it's is it a fat or a slim?
It would be like a earlier generation, whatever that is.
That'd be the fat, so it's probably moddable, man.
I'll have to ask my roommate what we did with it. Um,
Yeah, because I mean, even if you don't use it, you could sell the thing. But I mean, like I said, told you, it's so easy to mod it that it's like I feel like there's no way you couldn't get use out of it. They're pretty cool pieces of hardware.
Maybe it's PS4. Um,
You can mod those too.
I think it's PS4. That was the one where it was like WW 2K something or other with CM Punk on the cover.
I
Probably
don't
like
know.
2K13 or something.
I haven't bought those games since N64.
That was the last one. That was the first one that I bought since the Nintendo 64 ones, and it was all right. Yeah,
Yeah,
believe it or not.
they're okay every once in a while, but they're generally a pretty buggy mess. They're never launched well.
It wasn't the experience control wise or gameplay wise that I had with the 64s. I don't think any wrestling game is ever gonna, and it's not like a rose colored glasses thing because it's just the play style because you could literally take modern graphics and put that exact play style and control style on top of it. Boom, you'd have a AAA hit.
Yeah, I believe you would too. Um, I think that's what AEW tried to do, and it didn't work
They
out though.
did.
So something about their formula was missing, and I think they had some of the people involved, but it's the people at the top on the American side, the AEW, like Kenny Omega and Aubrey Edwards, running a video game fucking company. What do they know about that?
Fuck do they know?
Like me and you, we wouldn't try to. We would hire people, the right people, to run the company for us. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We'd just be like, hey, we want this kind of game. Tell me, is this realistic? And if it wouldn't be like, what's the closest we can get to this? You tell me, because you're the person who knows how it's going to happen. I'm just telling you what I want. Right?
Yeah. I'm still over here wondering what PlayStations I've got.
Yeah. Like, I got the 1, 2, 3. I had a 4 back in the day, but ended up selling it when I was barely touching the thing. But yeah, I'm going to
Well,
end up getting a 4 at some point too. I think once the PS4 Pro gets cheap enough, I'm going to
yeah.
jump on that because, like, you know how that'd be a monster.
Yeah. My roommate and I remember we went in halves on a 4. It was the early gen one though, like, it was kind of when it first came out.
Yeah.
So I think that might be what's in the garage and not a 3. I do think that there's a 3 around here though. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask him.
Ocean Blue PS2. Is that what you see in your future?
Um, I don't know if it will be ocean blue. I can't remember. I think it was the ocean blue
That's the
over
one
the
that's a little
midnight
bit
blue.
brighter and more clear, and the midnight was a little bit darker. Hard to tell if it
Yeah,
was. What is it?
I think it was
Opaque?
the ocean
Is
blue.
that the real word?
I think so. I think so.
Alexa, what
Remember
does
in the
opaque mean?
90s when everything was see-through,
Opaque
neon
means
see-through?
something that doesn't let light through. It's like a solid wall for light. Nothing can see through it.
I'm not sure that's it then. Thank
No.
you.
It's transparent, translucent,
No
transparent,
problem.
I think is the word.
Catch you later, Tim.
Shut
Sorry.
up, Alexa.
Yeah, I know she always has to let me know that she knows my name or whatever. Like, thank
Yeah.
you. But it's nice to have, Didn't have to type anything in.
Yep.
But
Well,
yeah, overall, sorry, Dave, didn't mean to cut you
uh,
off there. I was
that's
just gonna
that's it.
that that's always my world. Like if there was a world where they could just keep shipping me the consoles and I could just keep like doing the mod to them and then putting the games on them and shipping them out. That'd be what I'm doing. It's pretty easy. I don't mind it. The 3DSs. We'll move on in a second, but the 3DSs are where
Oh,
the
you're
money's
good.
at this year. Like if I like stumble into a chunk of money, I'm gonna like buy some 3DSs because they're just
We
going up substantially.
It's like generational waves when
Yeah,
this stuff
100%.
increases. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, like, if we could, kind of look at when this shit came out and figure out what the formula was for the previous ones that have already kind of come out and either
Well,
plateaued or whatnot.
that and you can't emulate you can emulate the 3DS, but you can't really emulate the 3D, the handheld. That's like something that like that's the whole point. First off, it's an actually handheld console. We've been over this before. The Switch isn't
Yeah,
handheld; it's just portable. But and then the 3D, that's a real legit thing. Like there's no other console handheld that does 3D. There's nothing else that really supports 3D. So like people are still doing homebrew on the 3DS and doing new 3D shit on that now. So not a pretty niche market, but it's a legit thing. A lot of people
that's
wanting those
cool though.
3DSs. Yeah, yeah. I love
You
my
know, I,
3DS.
I can't hate on any of that.
The
That's
the the Vita, it's still supported too. There's still people taking games like Jet Set Radio. It didn't release on fucking Vita, but somebody made a port of it for it. You know, it's funny. Like it I think a company would be well served to make a real portable. But what do we know?
I
What do
mean,
you know, Dave? I think you do.
I don't know, not much. I don't think.
I'm
I know
passing it
about
to you. What do you know?
doing things and stuff and back scratchers.
Oh hell yeah! But no, I was trying to set you up for the transition. But
Oh well, I think that I'm happy being a boy. Thank you very much.
oh no, but yeah. So what do
Not that kind of transition.
we had the Rumble, we had
Oh
UFC 325, which we'll get into more in depth later in the show, and we had Raw.
yeah.
So I fell asleep right at the last point of Raw, and I still somehow haven't looked up the main event segment between Reigns and Punk, so I can't really talk for it. But I see
No.
everybody's gushing
I'll
about it.
I'll tell you, it was really good, and I enjoyed it. And that's I don't
You
have anything negative to say about it.
you know what I do have to say about it, and
What's
having
that?
not seen it yet, isn't it funny how everybody does their best work working with Punk? Huh? I wonder why.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting, right?
isn't that funny?
Yeah. And people are always like, well,
Ever
I just
And then when
it,
people work with Punk, sorry, they do the best promos that they've ever done because him and Paul are giving them the ammunition. Him and Paul are working together, and they're sitting there like, oh, say this, oh, say this, because he's not being selfish. He's like, oh, fuck, if that's something to say it. I'm not
yeah,
gonna get my feelings
exactly.
hurt. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
their promo was really good. It came off as genuine. I hmm, I don't know. It was good. That's all I could say. I know that that's stupid, and we have a show where we're supposed to talk about stuff, but
It
it
was
was good
good.
promo. Go watch it. You don't need me to tell you it word for
Yeah,
word. Just
but we already went over the Rumble, so we don't need to go over that
yep.
too much. Women's Rumble, good. Men's Rumble, just all right. AJ versus Gunther, good match.
No
Um,
Finn Balor, weird.
Yeah, Sammy versus uh McIntyre, not that great. Overall, above average. Fair to say.
Yep. Yep. What did we give it? I think 6.5 or a 7,
7.
something like that.
I think, and we both did it at the exact same time.
Yep.
If you
So
remember,
there was no because we do that on the fly, so there was no like collusion. We just talked about, we thought the show was good,
three
little better than regular. Yep.
three
And
twenty
then
five was good as well. Sorry.
no, that's it. And then why don't you tell us about what the meta today is, the
Oh
main
shit.
topic, if you will.
Well, we're this is going to be a popular one here with a lot of fans, but we're titling this one "Why AEW Fans Suck," and
Let's get ready to suck it!
Oh,
let me preface this with this. We're gonna do one the same way with WWE fans at some point down the road. We just didn't want to lump them into one because it's like that could last forever and it's gonna mix. This isn't a verse. This is just a focus. I feel like a focus is a better one, right?
yeah.
But yeah, so I'll go into this for a second, and then you can tell me a little bit about what you think, Dave. But so I'll start this off. Oh fuck! What happens if you're online and you criticize AEW in a group of like on a AEW subreddit? I know that it's not exclusive to AEW, but what would happen?
Oh, well, like personally, the yeah, I have historically chosen to abstain from these sort of things. However, there has been times that I've made the mistake of engaging people on a post, trying to, educate them or give them a different perspective or different point of view about the topic that they're discussing. And it immediately devolves into like personal attacks, on what you look like, things of that nature. And it was just like, wow, dude, I was just talking to you about a different perspective on wrestling, and you're immediately like balls deep in my profile, like trying to see what I look like, and I don't know. It's a strange thing, the internet wrestling community, and
How many times have been said that you're not a real fan if you didn't like
I have,
last night's show?
yeah, not as often with the WWE fans, and since we're not talking about them, I'll quit bringing them up. But yeah, I've gone on some AEW stuff, and they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. It was a great show. Just whatever random shit. It could be like the worst show that they ever had, and
Here's your
people are still
favorite.
sucking its dick.
Here's your favorite. You must not have watched. You didn't watch. You like that one?
Yeah, yeah. It's like, well, thanks for telling me what I did with my time. I appreciate your perspective, but I did watch. It wasn't good. Hasn't been good. But
Well, it's not necessarily that it might not even be
the
good.
fans
You could just
hasn't
do
been good.
slight criticism, like I didn't like this spot.
Yeah.
You could not even be tearing it apart. Just I thought this was a little bit too much. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yep. Well, and real quick, well, since we're shitting on AEW, I'll throw them a bone here real fast. I was kind of surprised at them having Champa win the belt off of
Yeah,
Mark Briscoe, but and I did watch the match, and it actually was, a solid match.
why wouldn't it be?
I mean, it was probably a match that should have been on a pay-per-view in terms of the quality of it. So there you go.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so here's something. Here's an example. So somebody pops up on the show, and they've never had their backstory explained, and they just debuted, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's so and so." You say, "Who is that?" in like a live chat. What will be the first thing that they tell you to do?
Oh, I don't know.
Look at whack my mic. They look it up. You should know who this is. What you do you not watch All Wrestling Worldwide? There's more than just
Yeah,
WWE.
I have that sounds very very familiar actually. The Why does all this stuff exist like this?
What is it?
We shouldn't have to look it up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Tell me, make a, fucking, I'm watching your show. You should, you know, even if it's a fake story, give me a fake fucking story as to who the fuck this person is and why I should care about him.
It's just vignettes exist for a reason, you know. That's pretty
Remember
good way
those
to do it.
awesome Razor Ramon vignettes back in
Yeah,
the day before he debuted? Boom. Made you care about him, made you think he was awesome.
but yeah,
Hadn't even seen him wrestle yet.
I feel like if you could like describe the AEW fan base in like 2 words, it would be toxic positivity.
That's it's a really good description actually. I have never heard that before. So I like that.
Yeah, because pretty much every AEW show is an all timer. It's the best episode yet. Every episode's the best one, or every pay per view. And if you say anything's bad, they're like, "Oh, this is long term storytelling." And it's like, well, maybe it is, but that doesn't mean that it's great. But again, we're not trying to pick apart the shows, even though a lot of times they're not the best. And trust me, we have plenty of criticism for WWE shows as well. They've been stinking pretty much a lot for a while, but we're just kind of trying to say that these fans stink to talk to. You can talk to WWE fans. Feel like a lot about why the show stinks, but the AEW fans, they don't want to talk about it. You don't understand what you're watching.
Well, and speaking of stinks, they also like actually fucking stink. Take a
Yeah,
shower, put on deodorant.
yeah, they do. I've been to the shows multiple times, and they stunk it up almost every time I've been there. Literally to the
My
point to where
God,
it's just like your ass smells like rotten eggs, man. Like you got to do something about it.
disgusting. How can you go to somewhere and not shower before you go? How do you? I get that you become nose blind to stuff eventually, right? Like you smell it all the time, therefore you don't smell it anymore, right? But like,
Well, we
take
smell
a
it
shower
because we're
before you
sitting in
leave the
front of
house,
you.
dog.
We're down in your
Yeah.
crotch level, if we're sitting in front of you. But but
Ugh.
but I just wanted to kind of highlight too. I feel like AEW started a lot of this at the beginning. Like Chris Jericho taking digs, and like earlier on, they still do it here and there. But earlier on, they were taking a lot of digs at WWE, talking about their products, sloppy shop comments. From Taz. You
Yeah.
could go on and on and on. But I mean, it's like I saw a sign on this Facebook group that I'm a part of today that said, "Today's Wednesday. You know what that means? We get to watch real wrestling." And I said, "Well, how do you dictate what real wrestling is? Right there, right off the bat, you just sowing discourse."
All right, and that's an opinion. That's not like a fact.
Yeah. Um, I think it would be safe to say that if you're watching any show that exists today, that there's room for improvement and criticism. Wrestling's the same. And,
Yeah.
if you're blind to that and don't want your show to get better, um, that's fine, but other people do. And you don't have to shit on somebody for their opinion. You could just shut the fuck up about it or try to
Yeah.
have a conversation with them and be open about it because, it's there's a lot of room for improvement. And
Yeah. A conversation. Here's my perspective. Here's your perspective.
yeah,
Maybe we can meet in the middle. Maybe we agree to disagree. You know, you could apply that to pretty much anything in
yep,
life.
yep. Wrestling, it just seems so tribalistic, man, when there's really no reason for it to be.
Yep.
Nobody's paying
I
us.
mean, we love wrestling. It's gives us an awesome outlet to escape from the real world and enjoy something that we've been able to watch essentially our entire lives. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but there's that.
Well, it's all right, brother. And I just feel like we talked about it enough, and I don't want to shit on anybody. If you like AEW, that's great. I was just mainly trying to highlight this in a somewhat open-minded way, and hopefully maybe some, like even me, I'm capable, or I'm guilty of arguing with people a lot, and sometimes I do get hard on my opinions, but in the end they're just mine, just like yours is yours. And if somebody doesn't like something that you like, have a conversation with them about it. You might learn something.
You don't want to suck my dick. Get out of here.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're gonna get on out of here then. We're gonna start talking about our lead us, take us on, Dave.
That's the best segment transition of all time.
Yeah, it is. Take us out of here. Let's go to the next one.
I don't even know where the hell we're at this point. Oh my God. Topic number 2. What happened to the big man in wrestling? Well, that's a good question. What changed? Wrestling got faster, matches got longer, everyone wrestles the same style. Um, well, what that caused? Kind of like a size matters less. Big men aren't as protected, and losses don't really mean anything. You know, think of the big guys when we were growing up.
Well, there's not as many of them today. First off,
Right. Where are all the big men? They
In other
most
sports.
assuredly would be getting hired to be wrestlers if they were there trying to be wrestlers and could do it, right?
They're in other sports, is what it is.
Right. Because now there is more money in a lot of these other sports,
more.
and there is a lot of money in wrestling, but if
Not
you're
near
a
as
big
much.
giant athletic guy and you can go make 10 times more in the NFL, NBA, whatever, you're going to go do that instead of being a wrestler.
100%.
Wrestling isn't viewed the way that it was years back. People thought wrestling was cool. It was a cultural phenomenon. It was everywhere. People wanted to be wrestlers because they saw wrestling and they saw how cool it was. So they're like, "Oh, I want to be a wrestler." So you had a lot of these big guys. And also, there weren't as many athletic opportunities for guys on as many levels. So a lot of times, if you were an athlete and maybe you weren't as successful on a certain level, or you got injured in college or whatever, you kind of became a wrestler. That just was kind of how it was. I felt like in the 70s and 80s,
It was a lot
right?
of guys fall back.
Yeah. It's like, oh shit, I fucked up my knee. I can't go pro. Well, now I'm gonna be a wrestler. Boom.
Yeah. I mean, that's the Rock. His whole thing,
Yeah.
he was up in the CFL and couldn't even cut it there. And I was like, fuck it, I guess I'm going to go into the family thing.
No.
Good move, though. Worked out pretty
You
good for
try?
him.
Yeah. Roman Reigns, also collegiate
Yeah, you're right.
football player,
Yeah.
didn't make it in the pros. I think he might have been. Let's look up real fast.
I mean, we could go on and on and on. I think he actually played pro, didn't he, Reigns?
I think
but-
he was on a team. I want to say it was like the Vikings or something like that. Let's see here.
But Obafemi, that's a big man that I think they're pushing pretty well these days.
He was drafted to the Vikings in 2007.
And then we have Brock Lesnar. Randy Orton's pretty big, but a lot of, like, the only one that we named that's like new is Obafemi. Trick Williams isn't that bad of a size, but Randy dwarfs Trick. AEW, I think somewhat this kind of jumps into them too. They don't use their big men very well. They don't have anybody actually wrestling a big man style, and they have them, like being like dropped after like one move by like Orange Cassidy, which, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
Orange is great, but there's a certain way that big small dynamic works in wrestling, and they I don't know, they don't really push anybody very big over there.
I have high hopes for Oba. He looks impressive. You saw the face to face with Brock. He's almost
Yeah.
the same size as Brock, which is awesome. So we've got a younger guy that is the size of a monster. The guy can move. He's been protected so far. They haven't had him do anything that makes him look bad. They didn't even have him lose the title when he left NXT. He left it in the ring and got called up. He
Yeah.
he didn't even have to lose on his way out.
Yeah, they didn't want to have anybody. They wouldn't have jobbed anybody. Basically, is
Well,
what I
yeah,
was
I
going to
mean,
say.
also who on the NXT roster is believable that is going to, beat him?
I guess nobody. And still, they
Yeah,
wanted to keep his stock high. But, um, I mean, again,
he's
it's
got the young people call it aura.
but like you said, there's just so much more opportunity these days. You know, I feel like MMA. There's not a lot of big heavyweights out there, but I feel like MMA took a lot of those guys too.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, how many people our age, um, which is the guys that would be dominating the world of wrestling right now? I mean, there's not a lot of really good big MMA heavyweights right now, but it doesn't mean that they're not out there fighting. It just means that they weren't successful. But how many people our age grew up wanting to be MMA fighters because of Chuck Liddell or Brock Lesnar
Ken
back in the
Shamrock,
day?
Hoist
Yeah,
Gracie.
yeah. It's like it was the big blow up era of the UFC. So I mean, I'm sure that
Yeah,
a lot of people that didn't have the MMA wasn't an option before as a career. Now it is.
right.
No, it took me a while to get to that, but we got there. You could say that
Yeah,
about it. Go ahead.
well, yeah, I mean, like MMA was definitely an option for guys our age. I mean, like I'm fairly certain Nick Diaz is the same age as me.
No, I just meant like back when we were kids, MMA. Uh, you know, you weren't making a lot of money doing it. It would have been
Yeah,
better off to do wrestling, right? You had a better career path in wrestling to make money. In MMA back in the '90s and especially the '80s, you weren't making money from that.
no,
These days,
not
it's
at all.
there, and like especially today, like you could make some good money from that shit. More from wrestling if you're successful from it. And that Gable Stevenson, I'm telling you, he was in that nil program for WWE. He's gonna end
Yeah,
up being the UFC heavyweight champ. Within a
you think?
very oh yeah, 100%. He's super talented. You can tell by the small amount of fights he's already had. I don't know if you know, but I think he's like 4-0, maybe 5-0. And
Oh,
like,
nice.
yeah, he's just knocking guys out like just barely, like what he looks like he's just barely touching these guys and they're just going out.
Hmm,
Yeah, it's wild. He's like, and
good
like
for him.
he'll like take them down and slam them after he knocks them out in the same movement. Like this is all like 1 second. He like
Oof.
knocks them out and slams them at the same time. Like, and it's wild. You know how Fedor used to do that. How he used to, but it like Fedor would be hitting Big Nog when he did it. So obviously Big Nog's not going out back in the day. But yeah, what happened to the big man in wrestling? More money other places, less big men out there. Um, I think they did a study of it, and I think there's more short people uh, per people these days than ever. Like most people are 5'6" or below.
So we got to the point when we got big there for a while, and then we're getting small again.
I guess I don't know.
Well, they always used to meme about that there was steroids and all the meat in the milk when we were
Yeah,
kids before they outlawed it. So maybe that's why we grew so big.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know if that's actually even true or not, but I always heard people meme about that.
All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna dig into the meat of something else here.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Uh,
we got the Overmark Greatest Tag Team Tournament, the continuation of round one here. Remember, we're timing this out in a way to where we're ending it at a certain uh, period here in the future. So, yeah, still round one. And we just got a big tournament.
Bam!
yeah.
Take us into
Yeah.
this. I want you to do the
Well,
first two.
okay. We got the first two matches as promised by TJ here. We have match 6 in the Overmark Tag Team Tournament. Beer Money versus the Rockers. And Beer Money is Bobby Roode and Cowboy James Storm, and the Rockers are Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. And this would be a very fun match to be able to watch. There'd be the cool 80s high flying rockers, so it's believable moves, but they're still like, showboaty. And
Clean.
Beer Money,
I call those
you
moves
did
clean.
clean. Yeah. Did you get to watch much Beer Money or no?
No, I didn't.
Man,
Just a little bit here and there.
one of these days we're gonna do like a watch along of I'm gonna find out what is like regarded as like the pinnacle of beer money versus Motor City matches, and we'll do like a watch along of that, or I'll just have you watch it and we don't have we can just talk about it.
Yeah.
I Man, I know that it sounds crazy, but those guys made me like tag team wrestling again in the 2000s. I was like, damn, because it was pretty much dead.
Yeah, it definitely was. It I think there was a small period like when AEW first popped up. Their tag team division was really hot, but it's pretty stagnant these days.
I really liked SCU.
So did I. I thought they were pretty hot at the beginning, and FTR, their first championship run, really, I think their first like year and a half was pretty good in AEW. But it's strange what happened there. But neither here nor there.
Well, then so anyway, ultimately, Beer Money comes away winning this match. It's a very competitive back and forth match. There's not really any BS or anything. This is two babyface teams, but one of the things that the Beer Money guys used to do was like and this they would, like the camera would zoom in and then zoom out when they would do it. They'd get down and like they're charging up and they'd be like, beer money, and the whole crowd would do it with them, and the camera would zoom out when they hit money and they do like their little pose. It's
Yeah.
awesome, good entertaining. You got to have a little bit of entertainment in your wrestling sometimes, and that was not too much entertainment, and of course they did that during that match, of course.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the next match would have been Motor City Machine Guns versus the Harlem Heat. And you would say to yourself, well, self, how could Motor City possibly compete with Harlem Heat? Well, they can, and they have gone toe to toe with the outsiders in TNA, even though they were a little long in the tooth at that point, and come out victorious there. And just like that, they chop down the tree and they come out victorious here. You know, Harlem Heat, they got the power moves compared to Motor City, but Motor City has the quickness and a little bit more youth on their side, and it just is what it is. And they end up advancing in what's a very exciting match. And if there were people in attendance, they would be losing their minds for this
Oh,
match.
yeah.
It might not start off with them losing their minds, like, people be popping for Harlem Heat and maybe a little bit for Motor City. But, within like probably 2 minutes of the match going on, people would be up and it'd be rocking.
When Stevie Ray and Booker were like super fucking athletic, in their
Yeah.
primes, some of the biggest motherfuckers you'll ever see.
They had great entrance music
Yeah.
and their presence was great. And when they added the fire to their entrance, it was even better.
Yeah, it did. Or sorry, yeah, it was.
The company cares when they're adding pyro. Like,
Yeah.
these guys generate money.
Cody
We're
in
going to
the
spend a
Rumble.
little bit of money on them. Yeah.
Maria in the Rumble.
They got their full pyro at the Rumble. That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it definitely is. But speaking of some
People,
people, go ahead.
before we move on to that, used to be like, oh, well, Kane would get his pyro during the Rumble. And it's like, yeah, it shoots up as he's walking out. Like, it's not like a pause. It's not like he was doing
It went with the
the
gimmick.
ring fire,
He was magic.
Yeah.
These guys can do
Hellfire
whatever they
brings-
wanted. Yep, exactly. But speaking of Hellfire and Brimstone, these guys were around at the same time as this first tag team here, and that's the Rock and Sock Connection. We thought it'd be really cool to get them in there. I don't think they're one of the most legendary tag teams by any means, but they have two of the best guys, and I feel like they could stack up against anybody, given the right time and the right situation. And they're going against the Hart Foundation here. These guys weren't actually too far off at the same time of wrestling as tag teams, only separated by some years, right? Like a year.
Yeah. And I mean, they would have been in WWE at the same time,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they
Just
would
not
have
the
been
Rock and Sock
probably like,
Connection at the time.
yeah, Rocky Maivia Rock.
But yeah, anyways, we maybe they're going to take this backstage in this match for sure. I mean, Mankind's in this, The Rock's in this. You might even have The Rock grabbing the microphone in the middle of the match while they're up by the table that somebody just got ran through, running his mouth about the guys. They I don't feel like this. I feel like when it comes to probably this will probably actually be one of the not highlights of this show or this tournament. I feel like it would be all right, but I feel like compared to all these other ones, it wouldn't blow us away. It would
It's
be
kind
good.
of a by the numbers
Yeah.
for what you would expect from these two teams.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting like a 12-minute match out of this where Mankind and The Rock just beat the shit out of him, and he gets that mandible claw in there. Trying to think who does the job. Who's the guy that subs out here? Jim?
Yeah, probably Jim or Bulldog.
No,
Maybe.
I think Jim be the guy. No offense.
Yeah.
Rest in
Sorry,
peace.
Jim.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
Rest
passed
in
away,
peace to
right?
all of them. Well, yeah, there would have been. Well, if we're talking about the full on Hart Foundation, we would have Bret Hart, Owen
Yeah.
Hart, Jim Neidhart, uh, British Bulldog, and Brian Pillman.
But yeah, we don't have to sit in this too long. There's definitely some chair shots. Mankind probably gets hit with a chair too in this, but he takes the ass whipping. The Rock.
It's
The
behind the
finesse.
ref's back, by the way,
Yeah.
because these are still regular rules matches.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But you can't say that this is 100% how it would go. And then we got the Brain Busters versus the 2-man power trip. What was it? Arn and Tully.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, nothing too crazy here. We do have a little bit of
Heel
blood.
versus heel match.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a blood. This is basically who can outsmart and outdo. If you thought the last one was bad, Austin or Triple H end up taking out the ref at one point. I don't think this will go very long. Probably about like a 10-minute match. Brain Busters and Stone Cold and Triple H just beat the shit out of each other. They don't go into the back. It's just maybe a little bit of shit from the back, like maybe somebody grabs a pipe and hits each other with it. Maybe we got some brass
Yeah,
knucks coming from
when the
Arn.
referee's down.
Yeah, maybe we got some brass knucks from Arn, and we get some color on Stone Cold because he like wearing the color a lot. But China China's with DX, so we don't have him hang out with these guys, even though she did, right? Was she?
Yeah,
No, it was
maybe.
or was it Stephanie?
Stephanie.
Okay, so we got Stephanie, who also accompanied them outside, and she would be a little bit of a factor here, distract.
Yeah, she provided a distraction.
Oh, yeah. And nothing too much to really go over here, just a good old-fashioned ass whipping. And that's that there. And then I'll go over the last one if you want. And we got the Road Warriors versus the Rock and Roll Express here.
Yeah.
And that's actually when we so that jumps in the round 2 there, right? The Road Warriors and the
No.
Rock and Roll.
No, we're still on round 1. We still got a few more round 1 matches.
Oh, well, I'm goofed up then. What's wrong with me? But yeah, we got the Road Warriors and the Rock and Roll. Remember the Rock and Roll most legendary rivalry was against the Midnight, who are also in this tournament. So maybe we'll get lucky in seeing them go against each other down the road. But yeah, overall, this match has happened. You've seen it. Pretty awesome shit. These guys have probably sold and put more ass in seats than almost any other tag team, besides some combination of some free birds with these guys. And I'm not a mathematician. We would have to get with Cornette for that. But overall, they tear the house down, and the chicks would hold on. The chicks would love to fuck Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson any day of the week back then.
Yeah.
They get the lady pop, right? But yeah, Road Warriors, they fuck them up, by the way, just destroy him.
Yeah, it's two giant men.
This is like a 5-minute match, nothing crazy at all. It's a little bit competitive. They get a little bit, and what was their finisher?
Fuck, I don't know, to be honest with you.
Suck my dick.
No,
Okay,
that wasn't their
so they
finisher.
get him with the suck my dick finisher, and
No.
that's that.
Pedophiles.
Oh no, we don't have any of
I don't
those.
think I don't know.
No,
None of the
we need
guys were
Tony. We need
that.
Tony back in here. But yeah, overall,
Rumors. Rumors.
but yeah, that. So we got a couple more from round one, you said, and then we'll jump into round two.
Yeah, I think next episode we'll probably finish it up. I don't know. Let me take a peek here.
But
Let's
yeah,
see here.
things are going to really start heating up once we get into round two. We're going to have some really competitive matchups, some interesting plot twists that occur. I feel like the ones that we did today, like we said, are pretty. Some of the pretty more standard, basic things that you could talk about. But still, overall, everybody would lose their minds over every single one of these matches. And yeah, hope you're
We
looking
got
forward to it, brother.
six more matches left in round one.
Six more. So
Yep.
2 more. We'll do one more episode that'll be all round one, and then we'll have another one that finishes round one, and then we'll jump in a couple of round two, right?
Yep. Or maybe we'll finish all around one, and who fucking
Yeah.
knows? We'll figure it out.
Yeah, probably.
All I know is I've been reading up that chicken parm was invented at Bamonte's
Oh,
because he ran out of eggplant, so they substituted chicken, and now we've got chicken parm. So
well, I got something to substitute.
what's that?
You want to talk about AJ Styles?
But I want my dick to be so.
I mean, you keep bringing that up, but I don't see what that got to do with this. But
Suck my dick.
have you seen how it's just been posted all over the place? Like everybody's talking about it now. They're like, "Oh no, what's going on with AJ Styles? Is he going to TNA? Is he going to AEW? He almost put his gloves down in the ring, but didn't, and then he did the too sweet, and they pulled away from him quick. And what's going on?
No. Well, my dick sucks.
I mean, that's great, but I just tell me, go do that later.
Fucking, they're reading too much into it. He just,
Yeah,
it is what it is. He wanted the last presentation of AJ Styles to be what we saw in terms of being an in-ring guy. And that's fine. That was his choice. People are reading way too much into it. He's going to be working at WWE for a very long time. I do think that his in-ring is done. He has talked about at length that, while it looks like that he can still go and is going at a high level, we don't see what all goes into him being able to go out there for that 5 to 20-minute match or whatever it is that we're going to get from him. And then we don't see what he has to go through after that. So, he's 4 or 5 years older than me. He's earned it. Selfishly, I would love to see him wrestle more. Who wouldn't? But he's earned it, and he's going to still be around. What that looks like, whether it's in a production role or a coach role or what he ends up doing, I don't know. But we'll be seeing lots of AJ Styles for years to come still.
so they're saying that if he becomes available and he's taking I guess like whatever bids for whatever the fuck he's gonna be doing, that AEW is gonna try to give him significant amount of money, and I guess why wouldn't they? But I don't know. I just don't really see him going over there. Like I mean, he could
Bring him in and pay him a ton of money to lose to John Moxley.
Yeah, I mean that would most likely be what happens. But if he wants to, that's what he wants to do, and he wants to get paid. I don't blame him at all, and I hope that's what he. I just want him to do whatever he wants to do, and if it's going over to AEW, great. If it's going to TNA for a while, that's great. If it's NJPW, go for that. But I just don't see. Yeah, I just don't see him. If he wasn't going to retire, he would have just told him like, "Hey, I'm not renewing this contract," and he would have just gone out. Why would he lie to him?
Yeah.
That's not the kind of guy he is.
Nope. Definitely not. And at this point, he's been with WWE longer than he was with any company.
Yeah, he was. Well, we'll see. Give it a little bit of time, and the answers will be clear.
Well, speaking of used to work for WWE, Ava Rain quits WWE because she's tired of doing it and is going to work for her parents' studio. Is that really what's happening?
So she ended up telling WWE that she wasn't going to renew her contract. Who knows what that's for? We don't know the exact specifics. But once her contract was done, she ended up making a post that said, "Fuck ICE and this entire administration." So I guess she wanted to be able to do that. But yeah, she's going to go work for her parents' studio. You know, they have that. And I'm sure that's going to be a cush job. And yeah, I guess she was just tired of the WWE thing.
Yeah, you have a certain level of things that you can and can't say when you're beholden to a giant multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company. So maybe she didn't like having those constraints. Who knows?
Who knows? I'm sure we'll hear some rumors and speculation and some dirt sheet bullshit on that at some point as well. I just thought that'd be something to talk about a little bit, and anything that happens there, we'll talk about it if it's worth talking about, and if it's nothing interesting, then we don't give a fuck about that. But something with people also that used to work for WWE, and something else that's worth talking about here. What the fuck's going on with Chris Jericho, Dave?
Well, we were seeing that he might still be signed with AEW for some reason.
Well, maybe it just didn't run
And
out yet.
yeah, I'm assuming it's something like that. You got to remember this contract information that we get is generally
Secondhand.
speculative and loosely based on what it actually is. Like, usually you get like a month or a year out of it. Extensions happen because of injuries or things of that nature. So, just like what we just said with Ava, again, nobody knows. Um, it's really weird that nobody knows and that it hasn't gotten brought up or anything. The Rumble seems like it would have been the best time to bring him back, but I guess that, just wasn't it.
I mean, I think it's kind of obvious that the reason why he didn't show up in the Rumble was because he still was signed to AEW. And I think the only thing to me that would make sense is that, and it's the same thing that's happened to a lot of people. Tony knows that they're not signing their contract, and Chris Jericho's probably paying hardball to get more money, and he's playing both companies against each other. And Tony doesn't want to have him on the show, and he's just going to let his contract expire, and like he's done other people, not show him on the show, and they'll just disappear off the show, and he'll be on WWE television next time we see him.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
that's
the only thing
okay.
that
My
makes
brain's
sense.
just locked up there.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Mr. Matthews.
Yeah, but I don't think he's involved. But yeah, overall, I think the chance of us seeing Chris Jericho in a WWE ring again is probably like 99%.
Yeah, probably by elimination chamber. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we've literally covered the Chris Jericho AEW return more than anything else. And I feel like we're too invested now not to talk about it. So that's what's going on there. What do you think?
Um, I think that we've talked enough about Chris Jericho and we can move on because we don't know. Nobody knows except for like, a handful of people. But speaking of things that we don't know and that you don't know, we have rumors swirling that Wembley is actually holding off on AEW All In until it's 100% sure that it's not going to secure a WWE event. I I would believe that.
Well, there's rumors that
WWE.
WWE's wanted to do that, Wembley.
Yeah.
So,
You think it's going to happen?
I mean, usually where there's smoke, there's fire with some of these things. And they normally would have well ahead of time already sold AEW All In tickets, right? So, AEW wants to do it there, but I'd lean towards yeah. It most likely is what's going on here. Makes sense, right?
Yeah. Which kind of event? Because Wembley's kind of a big deal. I would think it would be one of the bigger events. We're not just talking like
Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a Wembley Saturday night's main event. I would think
It might be.
SummerSlam, Survivor Series. SummerSlam would make sense because it's in the summer, which is around the same time as All In, right?
Who knows? It could be that. What's that? Was it WrestlePalooza? It could be a new fucking event like that they randomly come up with. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard to say, but I think I think where there's smoke, there's fire here, and just like anything else that we talk about, we'll keep an eye on this. Not too much more we can say about it, right?
Nope. And if we know anything, then you'll know it. And if you
Oh
know it,
yeah,
tell us, and then we'll tell everybody else.
that's a really good fucking way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's what we do here. I mean, that's what all these
yeah,
shows do.
yeah, 100%. What else we do is what this show does is we're going to talk about MMA a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and jump on into this shit. So UFC 325, we're going to do a quick recap here. Nothing too crazy, but Alexander
We're going to talk about
Volkanovski.
wrestling. We're going to talk about a little MMA, and we might even talk some gabagool.
We're 50 minutes in, and this guy fucking shows up at 50 minutes in. What a fucking piece of shit. How much are you paying this guy, Dave?
Oh,
Too much, right?
yeah. We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, it's got to be way too much because it's.
Well, you know.
When I see one.
Oh wow.
What?
How much of a price can you really put on a legendary superstar? You know.
Screw all this wrestling crap. I just want to get a little slice of my gabagool.
Oh well, I guess. I know you're not paying him by the
Can't
hour
find
either.
pussy anywhere.
Well, go get it. Go get it. Because that's not.
One when I see one.
Oh.
Oh. Well. Speaking of Punani.
Son of a bitch!
Yeah, son of a bitch. But sorry. Anyways, Alexander Volkanovski defeated Diego Lopez by unanimous decision. This was a really good fight. They both dropped each other a couple times. I wouldn't say it was highly competitive though. Volkanovski definitely won the fight. On scorecards, it was 49-46, 49-46, and 50-45, which means on two judges' scorecards, he won 4 rounds to 1, and on one, he won 5 rounds. It was definitely pretty solid, and for Volk to be doing it at 37, most people at 35 drop at those smaller weight classes. They don't keep being successful at those older ages, so it's pretty good shit. Did you end up falling asleep, or did you end up watching that?
I didn't really watch any of it, to be honest with you. I forgot it was on.
Well, it's good. Then it's all good. We'll talk about this shit here myself. Benoit Saint Denis defeated Dan Hooker. You should watch that. If you want to watch like a violent fight, man, you like ground and pound, right?
Oh yeah.
Dominant. Fucking had him down like kind of like in a triangle type thing. But then he was just bam, 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 bam. Just
That might have been the. I think I saw that highlight. I saw some highlights of it,
Yeah.
just like on the news sites and everything, but I didn't physically watch it.
But yeah, I know you don't know these guys too well yet. You will in the future, but Dan Hooker is a specialist at getting his ass whipped. So he did not disappoint in that fight there. And then we had Mauricio Rufy defeated Rafael.
What the fuck is the guy's name?
Mauricio Rufy.
Like the date rape truck?
Yeah, and Rafael Fiziev. That was a pretty good fight. I think a lot of people had Fiziev winning that, and he ended up getting knocked out pretty devastatingly in the second round there. So that was a pretty good shit. Taliesin Teixeira defeated Tai Tuivasa. That was a heavyweight fight against 2 fat guys that went to decision. So you already know how that was. Sloppy, and they both were tired as fuck after the first round was done. So
What'd you say that guy's name was again?
Taliesin Teixeira and Tai Tuivasa or Mauricio Rufy.
Guilty.
Jeez. But anyways, and then we have Kalan Skilid with the submission win, first round rear naked choke. Pretty good shit there. But yeah, my fight of the night was Volk versus Lopez. Definitely the fight of the night. The submission of the night was Billy Elikana. He got a comeback win. He got dropped bad in that first round by Justin Tafa. This is a light heavyweight fight, I believe it was. And he ended up coming back and submitted him in the second round.
What is that, 185?
No, that's 205.
205. Oh, yeah.
And then anything 205 and above is heavyweight. Literally 206 to 265. Pretty wild range there. But and then the knockout of the night, which was the one I talked about earlier, was Mauricio Rufy knocking out Rafael Fiziev. pretty good night of fights.
He roofied him.
Yeah, it was a pretty good night of fights, though. Not a stacked card by name wise, but overall, I really enjoyed it. Volkanovski has a couple pretty up and coming contenders that he could really submit his legacy with if he goes against these. It's like Moskov, Evolov, or whatever, and then I forget the other guy's name, but how prepared I am. But yeah, if he ends up beating those two guys, he'll definitely go down as one of the all-time greats. He already will, but that'll cement it even more. But yeah, and I think Saint Denis, if he wins one more fight, might end up being going for the title because he's got a pretty impressive streak going on. But yeah, we got a fight coming up this Saturday. It's a fight night card. I'll go over it real quick. It's Mario Batista. He's stepping in on short notice against Vicentius Oliveira. It's a bantamweight headliner, UFC Apex in Las Vegas, which is actually now called the Meta Apex, I believe. It's sponsored by Facebook. So it's a pretty good fight. Vicentius Oliveira is a fucking killer, man. You know, just one of those Brazilian strikers, super good on the ground. Mario Batista is just a dog. He just lost to Khabib's cousin, Umar, and that's the only guy that he's lost to, I think, in like 8 fights. But overall, good shit. We got Amir Albazi versus Kyoji Horiguchi. Kyoji Horiguchi's like kind of like been around a while. He's a Japanese guy. He's probably going to dominate that fight. Then we got a heavyweight fight with Jalton Almeida versus Rivian Kuniev. Almeida's pretty grappling, heavy-oriented style, kind of just holding guys down.
I thought you said Ravine, you know, like the guy they always say Ricky looks like.
Yeah, well, I did say Kuniev. Maybe you could have something with that. But
shit.
And he lost his last fight, but before that he was on like a pretty long finishing streak, I believe. But yeah, and then we got Michael Olenjachuk versus Marc-Andre Barriault, Farid Basharat versus Gene Matsumoto, and Uran Sayabaliviv versus Julius Walker. Some pretty solid fights there for a fight night card. I know a lot of people probably don't know who these guys are, but you can trust me when I think there's going to be some solid fucking action Saturday. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll be tuned in, and if there's some fights worth watching, I'll let you guys know about it. It's going to be the first fight night of 2026. We've only had 2 UFC cards this year so far, and it's just been 2 pay-per-views. So Batista versus Oliveira carries some pretty meaningful. The winner's going to have a lot of momentum, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And Albazi versus Horiguchi, features 2 ranked flyweights with 2 different pretty contrasting styles. So I'm looking forward to it. It's not a pay-per-view, but this fight night's loaded with ranking implications, momentum fighters, and a couple fun scraps that can definitely steal the show. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll try to remind you, Dave, so you can tune in at least until you pass out or whatever the fuck we end up doing that night.
Falling asleep at like 8:30.
Yeah. But
I go to.
I want you to talk to us about this next thing here.
Well, we got potentially some good news depending on who you are and what you think and who you like. But we got Nick Diaz coming back into the conversation. Nick Diaz, obviously, longtime fan favorite and former UFC welterweight contender. And he was Strikeforce welterweight champion also. Can't forget that.
Yeah.
Says he plans to resume fighting after his recent rehab stint in Mexico. He stated in a new interview that he still sees himself becoming world champion when he returns to active competition. I don't know about that. I love you, Nick, but geez. He hasn't fought since 2021, and he lost to Robbie Lawler, which he didn't look great in that fight. His planned comeback that he had against Vicente, whatever the fuck, I don't know how to say that
Vicente
name.
Luque.
In 2024, it was postponed and eventually scrapped with Diaz withdrawing from the rescheduled bout. Isn't that when that was when all of his stuff happened, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then he talked openly about his substance issues with marijuana and alcohol, and his recent time in the rehab facility was part of his ongoing recovery journey. Does that mean he's not going to smoke weed anymore?
I don't know. I hope not.
Huh. At 42 years old, he's confident that a fresh, sober version of himself can still contend and chase gold. Well, before we go any further, what do you think about all that, TJ? It is positive to see him healthy.
Oh man, I would love to see him fight again, but maybe just 1 or 2, maybe just get a win. But 42, it's tough for anybody to win a fight at that age. But maybe he can do it. maybe you could do the bare knuckle like the other guys, but he was saying basically like you're going to see a whole new me, and I don't know what that is, but in any time that maybe you could see it, like Nick putting his all into fighting and training and being happy, that would be a pretty dangerous combination. I feel like super talented guy. I just wish he was 10 years younger. And
Yeah.
I would just be like, and he had this mindset, but he was saying that he sees himself becoming the world champion. He thinks it's easy money. It's not like before. People are going to see a brand new me, which I said before, but I don't know. I don't see it happening. He's just too old, but I'm super hyped for it. I would love to see him fight again if they have the right matchup and somebody that could highlight his style and maybe get him a good knockout or submission win. Anything to get him motivated and something to wake up for, and just getting meaning in life, because a lot of these people have trouble stepping down from the limelight, and I can't imagine what it would be to step down from such highs that he's had in his life, and just we're rooting for you.
Hell yeah, we sure are. And hopefully, if we do see you fighting soon, we see you whipping somebody's ass, like we all have seen in the past.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And if you guys haven't seen Nick's fights, we got a watch along of one of his classic fights against Paul Daly on our channel there.
Fight.
Go look it up. I can't remember what episode it's on, but it's on there. You'll find it.
Yep, definitely will. But speaking of find it, I think we can find ourselves moving on to talk about some other shit if you're ready for that.
I am.
Well, we're going to go into our Channel 3 fucking gaming segment stuff here. If that's something that you'd be interested in.
Well, I'm not uninterested in it.
All right. Well, why don't you take us through what we're going to be talking about here?
Kidding. So today, TJ and I are going to be talking to you fine folks about our first MMO experience. And we're going to just jump right into it. And I'm going to tell you, mine was Ultima Online. It was an interesting experience for a nice young man such as myself. I want to say I was probably 15 or 16. I don't know, somewhere in that neighborhood. And the game seemed like it went on forever in terms of how expansive it was. Everything was very punishing at the time. And I think I ultimately probably played it like 6 months, maybe a year. And Diablo 2 came out, and I moved on to that relatively instantly, and then didn't look back. But I did have a good time, and there was some cool little PvP experiences and gaming experiences that I used moving forward, teaching yourself about grinding things out and farming and,
some life lessons.
The punishment. Yeah. You believe it or not, there's a lot of life lessons you can learn in gaming.
Yeah, there is.
But anyway, why don't you tell us about what yours was there, TJ?
Well, mine was PSO, more specifically for the Xbox. This is a game that launched for the Dreamcast, and they ended up re-releasing it for the GameCube and the Xbox. The GameCube launches all the DLC, and the Xbox got the same version, but the DLC launched in waves, so you got a drip of content. The Xbox had one thing that no other version of the game had, though, including PC, and that was voice chat through Xbox Live, which made the game way easier to play. So it was kind of like some of my first experiences with voice chat through video gaming, and I just loved the game, man. I stayed up all the time playing it. I remember I had it in the summer. I just fucking stayed up all night, go to bed at like 8 a.m., wake up at like, 1, 2, go back over again. But, it's similar to Diablo, but you play with like groups of 4, and you just take down bosses, get loot. You could get to level 200 in this game.
Wow.
There's all kinds of different little subsystems, and you could be like a ranger, which is like a ranged character that shoots guns. Yeah, and you could be a hunter, which is like funny, the hunter in WoW's like a range class, but a hunter in this game is the melee class. But the thing that kind of set you different is like your weapon style. The weapon styles have all different kinds of kind of changes the way that you play. And you can be a force who's the caster, and then the casters have like all these different spells and all the stuff that they do, and they have 30 ranks of each spell. So they're pretty devastating, and they can do just about anything. But there's so many cool different weapons that you can get in the game. Like there was this one weapon called Heaven's Punisher, where it had each weapon had a special, right? This weapon had a special that every other hour, it would use this attack, and it could attack anything in the room, didn't matter where it was, and it would just rain down shit on them, and you just basically kill shit without even getting close to it, and it would just hit so hard. But overall, really badass weapon. And like me and Brandon remember the weapons from this game. Well, like we still talk about them. Like, you know how Vanilla WoW had all these cool weapons. PSO was the same. It had all this cool music, cool art, everything about the game. It really stuck with me. And it was made by Sonic Team, the same people that made all your Sonic games, and the same team that made Sonic Adventure, the first one. So it's good shit. Really enjoy the game. I'm gonna, one of these days, I'm gonna eventually try to rope you into at least giving it a try. It's free, so can't hurt anybody. The private servers are still out there, so if that's something that anybody would want to check out, they are out there and available to play. GameCube, Xbox, PC, you can play it on anything that it was on. It's pretty interesting. I don't know if it was on PS2 or not. That's something that I would have to look up. I don't think it was, but I know Phantasy Star Universe was, but yeah. And then that
I don't remember hearing about it, but maybe it was.
If we didn't play those games, though, we probably would have never met. So, isn't that funny?
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah, because we met through an MMO. Wow.
Yeah.
The top dog, so to speak.
Couple of dorks.
Yep. Couple of goofs, how some people might explain them. But overall,
Excuse me?
Yeah, who Tony? Oh, that's funny, man.
What a dick.
That's really funny. But yeah, I put something that we want to talk about on here. I'll go first. But yeah, so what are some games that we're looking forward to this year later in gaming? And the game that I was looking forward to is Fable. It should be pretty badass. It looks like it's the people from that make Forza Horizon, but this is their first RPG, so it's the series is getting resurrected. It couldn't be in better hands, and the graphics look like they're probably going to be like the best graphics that we've ever seen out of like any game. Like they look fucking amazing. So just based off that, it's should be promising. But who knows? It could stink. We don't know. It's been a while since the game's been out, but that's my pick, and I'm hoping for the best.
Well, I've been kind of struggling with gaming as of late, but I'm hoping that the final installment of the Final Fantasy VII remake comes out this year. I think it's supposed to. They said it was pretty much done. They're just giving it polish now, so I have to assume that we're going to see a release of it this year. So that I'm like super looking forward to that. I'm actually about to replay them, I think. Me and Brandon were talking about that. The remake and Rebirth, yeah.
That's cool. I know you really like those games. Give you something to do.
It was man. They just the nostalgia was really good.
Maybe
Pretty sure they got New Game Plus, so I just play through it for the story and smash things.
Maybe you should try some other old JRPGs back from that. Like, how I'm playing the Wild Arms games? Maybe you should try to branch out and try some, because they don't really make too many good JRPGs these days. So I'm going back and playing the old ones.
That's true.
Trying to broaden my horizon a little bit. Beat some games I never beat.
That's true. I'm one of those weirdos, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. And you're right, I should try other games. But I'll use Carrabba's as an example. Carrabba's has a great menu. It's very extensive, right? You probably bring anybody there and they get something that they like. Oh, for real?
They don't have one here, and they didn't have one where I was at.
Okay.
Before.
So, I mean, it's like basically just fancy. It's not really fancy, but it's a chain Italian restaurant that they try to achieve the perception of being higher end than what it actually is.
Okay.
All the food there is good, though. My point is, regardless of all these different delicious things that I know for sure that they have on the menu, I'm gonna get the chicken parm every time that I go.
I do the same thing. We would go to restaurants when I was growing up, and I always get the same shit. I do the same thing now. So I know what you're saying, but I'm forcing myself to branch out is what I'm saying. I'm trying different.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. Man, I'm getting hungry. Sorry, I just random thoughts.
I like how you hung the jacket up, by the way. Didn't mention that up before.
Oh yeah, I had forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a nice wooden hanger for it that's shaped properly so that it's not just hanging on some shitty plastic hanger to mess it up. Want to preserve it as long as I can. And I figured since I wasn't able to wear it today because it's nice and cool. Plus, you never really see the back when I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's funny, by the way, when we had that thing just happen, when it cut off and I deleted shit, I actually ended up deleting the median thing there, so it was gone. So I just ended up putting our old one up. I just noticed it was gone. So for a split second, people were gonna see a black bar, but it doesn't fucking matter.
Holding you on.
Yeah, exactly. We already got it taken care of. We're that quick on it. We technical difficulties, and we difficulted our ass into figuring it out pretty fast on the spot. But overall, pretty awesome choice. I think the game that you're looking forward to is going to be an amazing one, and I'm hoping that Fable's going to be awesome. And if it is awesome, I'm sure you'll check it out too, because everybody loves a good resurrection of a video game series.
Maybe I'll check it out. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, you know what I do know? You got something else that I think we were going to check out. We were going to maybe talk about something else.
Oh, well, yeah. I almost hit something there that would be good. And speaking of good, we have a new thing that we're checking out here. It's kind of part of the gaming segment. It's kind of its own thing. But it's the OverMark MP3 folder, where occasionally TJ and myself are going to select a song that we think is cool, or whatever the case may be. It's a song that we think folks should listen to and check out. You might think is cool as well. You know
what I like to say, Dave?
What's that?
We got the MP3 saved on an old floppy drive or disk, so we're gonna dust off the old floppy disk and put it in the drive, and I don't know. And it creates a nice aesthetic, at least in my brain. What do you think?
What were those? I think that's good. What were those? Like, you remember the 3.5 floppy disks, right?
Yeah.
Of course. Remember when they came out with the bigger discs? Like,
Yeah.
after that, what the fuck were those?
Zip drives, I think.
Yes.
At least I think that's what they were. I don't know, but they were definitely a thing. You could literally flex them. They were so big. It was like,
No, it's not a zip drive. What the fuck were these things?
I don't know, but I'm gonna go over what we picked. Anyways, it's we're actually gonna end up having the song start and play the whole time while we're talking during the Channel 3 segment. It's gonna be kind of lower though, so it doesn't get copyright strike on our thing. But it's gonna be Sticker Bush Symphony from Donkey Kong Country. It's the second one you said, right? So
Yes.
overall, like, the Donkey Kong Country series has amazing songs. I don't think any of them are bad. So we could pick off the whole series, but we're just picking this one for now. I mean, what can you say about this song, Dave? And really, the whole soundtrack of any of their games in general. Donkey Kong 1, 2, and 3.
This is one of those ones when TJ actually suggested this song, and he was like, we should do this one. And the name of it didn't exactly click anything in my brain, and as soon as I opened it, like within a second of the first sound, I was like, oh yeah. And this song, if you know it, especially, like, as soon as it hits, you're just like, yep. And you're having a good time. It puts you in a good mood. It is relaxing. Man, great games, great soundtrack. I can't say enough good things about, you know, what Rare and Nintendo were doing with these Donkey Kong Country games.
Yeah, I mean, just listening to this song in general, gave us an idea about a video that we want to make about Rareware. That's how awesome this song is. But it's the thing that they could do with this such limited hardware is amazing, and these guys are just super talented. What is it? Greg Males, I think, was the main guy that wrote the song. I could be wrong, but he was the guy that was running their stuff back in the day, and just amazing shit. And we hope you give this a listen. And if you haven't played these games, you definitely should.
Yep.
But we got something else pretty fun if you want to talk about. Take us into that, Dave.
Hell yeah. We got some Dragon Ball announcements, a little bit of a cheat sheet to let you know that we know how to let you know what's coming, when it's coming, if it's coming. I'm coming.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. Not that. Circling back. The first part that we're going to talk about here is Dragon Ball Super Galactic Patrol. It's a new Dragon Ball Super anime. It's the first continuation since Super has ended. It's going to take place after the Tournament of Power, so it's a literal continuation of Super, and it adopts the Moro Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc, and the villain is this guy Moro. I am not somebody that reads the manga, so I don't know anything about this. I understand that it is a super cool arc, and I'm excited for it a lot.
Same.
But I've purposely avoided the manga and things of that nature because I kind of don't want the stuff spoiled for me. It's one of the few times in life that I'm watching something and it's not getting spoiled for me. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not like even guessing what's gonna happen. So I'd like to keep it that way. I don't think that that's you don't get a lot of opportunities for that in life anymore.
It's I haven't read it, but I've seen some pictures of the manga and stuff and the fights, and it seems like they have some really cool shit that we're going to be in store for. But that isn't going to be what we're getting right off the bat. So
Yep, that's a to be determined release date. So that's like a down the road.
I think that's going to be in 2028. That's how far away this is, or like at the end of 2027. What we're going to be getting before that is what was the thing that was rumored is they're going to be remaking Dragon Ball Super, and it's going to be more manga accurate. What people are guessing to some extent is if they're going to be like making Daima happen and also have the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4 Goku. That's also to be determined. I don't know. I doubt they'll do that, but maybe they do. But so we're going to be starting off with the Battle of Gods and the Beerus arc. That's going to be fall 2026, and then they're going to do the Frieza shit after that, and then they're going to do the Trunks arc, the tournaments 6 versus 7.
Yeah.
That one, and then they're going to do the Trunks one, and then they're going to do the Tournament of Power. I don't have it in front of me, but they actually have the amount of episodes each one's going to be. The Tournament of Power is going to be 40-some episodes. Like, they're really, they're going down that thing. I think the Trunks one's going to be like 18. So we're going to be able to get to see that pretty spread out, which I'm looking forward to that more than anything else. That is a great arc, and the animation sucked. I can't wait to have that in good animation. What was it, Super Saiyan Wrath that Trunks had?
Yeah, I can't remember, but it was awesome.
Rage.
And he fucked him up.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing those because Super's pretty good. It's just the only thing that was let down about it was the animation, and the fact that we're going to see new animation should be good. And I think the main reason that they're doing the remake is because the manga stuff won't make sense if it's not right compared to what was already happening in the manga, if that makes sense. But we got a game in Dragon Ball Age 1000. It's got some characters that were created by Akira Toriyama. It's coming out next year in 2027. And we got some new DLC announced for Sparkling Zero. We also got a new movie too that's happening at some point. I don't know if we know a lot about that at this exact moment. But yeah, we said that we talk about it. Me and Dave are both really looking forward to Super. I mean, just having something Dragon Ball weekly episodes on TV again just gives you something to look forward to the week. So good
Yep.
shit.
We both actually just rewatched Super recently.
Yeah.
Well, I think TJ's still on it. I just finished it.
No, I finished it.
I finished it and immediately restarted it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good seeing because you know that Super Saiyan, like you know how like Vegeta in the Tournament of Power gets basically Super Saiyan Blue 2?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in the manga. So he won't be
Oh.
doing that. Yeah, that doesn't happen. But that'll probably be the only thing. I won't tell you anything else. I feel like that's a pretty nothing crazy to there's really not too many differences, believe it or not. It's very small shit, but we'll see all that stuff when it happens, and maybe they could even deviate from what they've already said, like I said, with the Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan 3, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they do that there. Should be some cool shit, but overall, we at least are going to be having Dragon Ball content till 2028.
Wow.
So
What a time.
yeah, they're starting
Well,
later. I think it's in October is going to be the beginning of their shit. But go
hell
ahead,
yeah.
take us on.
We're not too far off. And speaking of not too far off, we're going to come at you guys with a couple more image reacts, and we're almost out of here. And I'm thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner.
Hell yeah,
I don't know yet, but man, I'm thinking
Crab.
like lasagna or manicotti or something. It's going to take like an hour to make, but whatever.
crad.
Kratom. And yeah, we're actually going to have a lot of that. Exclusively that.
Oh yeah,
Till they ban it. And then we won't have it anymore. But until then, we'll get it from the wrestlers. No, I'm just kidding. Back to the image react. We're going to scroll down here. We're going to go with my image here. And boom. It's a image of Kevin Nash as the Super Shredder during the making of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
what a giant guy.
That's him in that costume. I believe that was the director or one of the prop guys. I can't remember, but it did say. But I mean, look at how giant he is. He literally
Look at
almost
his shoes. They're like kind of
yeah,
like
almost
platform.
almost 7 feet tall, and then those shoes are definitely giving him a couple of inches. So I mean, they've got him way up there. He's a giant. If you look at it, like that guy's head is to like part way at his shoulders. Like he's more than a head taller than that guy in that picture. That's awesome.
And that's definitely just. When did that movie come out? The 80s?
91, the
91?
second one.
That's a
Yeah.
product of its time.
Man,
It's an awesome
you
picture.
know, maybe we'll do that for the video store one of these days. Those first couple Ninja Turtles movies, real fucking cool.
Yeah. They're pretty
Even-
badass.
Even though the second one was more geared towards kids. That first one was super dark. Rewatching it as an adult, I'm like, oh, I can't. My mom took me to the theater to watch that. It was like, what's the name of that theater back then? Something 6. There was only 6 screens in the whole thing.
Not anymore.
Nope. Yeah, now they're all like 18, 24. Big. Well, let's scroll down and take a peek at TJ's image, unless you got anything else that you want to throw in about this one.
Nope. I'm going to need your help here. So I got this picture here of Triple H, Jerry Briscoe, Percy Pringle, Shawn Michaels, X-Pac, Scott Hall, Austin, The Undertaker, Kevin Nash, and who are the other 2 guys that I left out? One's the guy by Taker in the back with the sunglasses, and the other one's the guy by Kevin with the red shirt on. Or whatever color that is. My color's a little bit distorted.
I think the guy in the back might be Brian Clark.
Okay. You look at Triple H, he's like, I'm not drinking or doing any drugs, but here I am, all awkward. The look on Triple H's face. He's like,
I think that's one of the Godwins.
Yeah, they're partying. They're having fun.
Oh yeah, I mean this is a fairly infamous image here.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't help it. I know a lot of people have seen it, but look at Taker in the background, which makes sense. But look at Austin there. Like he's just calm, got the buzz going on. Yeah. And when was this?
What a time.
I forget. I think this is when Austin was on top or was about to be.
I'm not sure. Probably mid to late 90s for sure.
I think Triple
Probably
H
like
is.
90,
Look at Triple
96.
H. I think that's the giveaway on the picture. What
Yeah.
Triple H looks
Probably,
like.
probably 96 if I had to
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, so Austin isn't exactly the guy yet, but everything's starting to get in that direction. Because
Yep.
if they're all together, that means that Razor and Kevin are still there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's probably late 95, early 96.
Yeah, and
Man,
Sean
imagine
Waltman's
if
there.
they kept this
Yeah.
roster. Holy
No
fuck.
kidding, man. That would have been fucking insane. What could have been, huh?
Yeah. Well, what we ended up with was really great, and maybe it wouldn't have been
Yeah.
as good. Who knows?
You're right. And then fucking Paul Bearer there. So I call him Percy Pringle. I mean, that's what all those guys would have called him. I just like calling somebody Pringle. But look at
He'll
him.
always be Paul Bearer
I'm
to
sure
me.
he's all fucked up there too. And Sean's on the Somas there. And sure, a couple of more of them are. But anyways, you got anything out of that picture? Just cool shit, right?
I'm gonna say whatever I want. It's called freedom of speech.
Well, don't just leave it there. Just leave it there. All right.
Well, no, that was a cool image, and it was a good choice. And we'll catch you guys the next time that we have some images to react to. Maybe it'll be next episode. Maybe it won't.
We've
Who
been doing
knows?
them. This
Yep.
is our third round, I think.
This is kind of a cool thing. There are a lot of images to react to. So, yeah.
Well,
Who knows?
I got something that may or may not get a reaction, and I'm gonna just jump right into it. So, is this our second iteration of this?
Yeah.
We already
Second
done
time
one.
we've done that.
Who did Uncle Dave get the first one?
I don't even remember.
Me either. I
Somebody
need
who
to
was a
write 'em
dumb
down.
fuck, though.
Yeah, I end up need to write these down. They're in the script though, so it won't be too hard to find. I think it's a couple one of them ago, but we got a certified mark nominee, and Dave put in parentheses here. This is a bad thing, just in case people were wondering. We're the overmarks, so we're the marks that are over. But mark is generally not a good term. We're the only ones that it's a good term for. But anyways, so we had a guy arguing with us on one of our videos. It was the Undertaker video where we were talking about the Montreal screw job and shit like that. This guy just kept arguing with us over and over and over again about stupid shit, basically saying that that's not what Undertaker meant and all this other stuff. But really, if you watch the video, nothing else makes any sense, because even if you don't take the Undertaker nodding, the story in itself is proof, right? What they're saying is proof. You weren't there, or you didn't work that night, but you were there. Why is that? They're playing coy, they're teasing each other the whole time. But, and they do try to get out of it a little bit and deflect it, because they don't want to keep talking about it. Because, these guys never know who they're going to piss off. But it was, the BDF protector, he kept commenting on our videos. We got like 18 comments for it, which is cool.
Thanks for the engagement, buddy.
We're not going to toot your horn too much, but you're a fucking moron, and maybe you should watch the video before you commit to something so wholeheartedly and keep doubling down. And, yep. And if you want to come into one of our videos again and argue with us, we might not. Who knows? Yep. But if you're feeling up for it, we got 2 words for you.
Suck my dick.
There you go. 2 words.
You don't want to suck my dick. Get out of here.
There's a big dummy, right, Dave?
That's right. Try not to argue with people on the internet. Thank you for the engagement, but also, go outside. There's something wrong with that guy.
Oh yeah, there is for sure. What a weirdo. I think he actually. I don't think this is our first engagement with this guy. I don't want to go back, but this name seems familiar to me.
I think he. Maybe they need to look at his hard drive or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think he might be in some files, if you know what I'm saying.
Pedophiles.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah,
These gay pedophiles.
Whoa.
We can go ahead and move on from that. And
Yeah.
that's the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. We run out of shit.
Hooray!
Yeah, we run out of shit to talk about with you for the day. We appreciate you joining us like always. Not too much. Yeah. Oh, but we're gonna enjoy the fuck out of that after this for sure. If you know what I'm saying. Oh, all right.
Gabagool.
Oh, suck gabagool.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That sounds awesome.
That sounds good. It does. It really does. I could go for
Fuck
some
you, you fucking whore.
gabagool right now.
Well.
I'm very hungry. Oh, speaking of hungry, the odds that any of our listeners are going to be in the county that I'm going to talk about, I got to talk about it because the deli that I've been all over their dick where I've been getting these sandwiches.
Yeah.
If you're ever in Pinellas County, Florida, you guys got to look up Seminole Subs. They got 5 locations. I'm not affiliated with them. I just love to eat their sandwiches. They got really good, deli sandwiches, cheesesteaks, chicken parms, shit like that. You can get French fries with your deli sandwich, which you can't at a lot of places. Get a big old drink. They got small drinks, but you can get a big drink. That's important to me. I like a big drink with my food.
Oh,
and
I bet.
It's really good.
Oh, wow. Did you like a big drink?
Yeah, I do.
I'm just fucking with you.
I get a Mountain Dew.
I'll try it if I'm ever near one. If I go past one, I'll be like,
You're never gonna be, but if you're ever
Yeah.
down here visiting me, we'll go. Even though
Okay.
it's like an hour from my house.
Whatever. Sounds good to me. But
Hell yeah!
let's wrap her on up and put a bow on this thing.
All right. Well, it was a fun show, TJ. I
Yep.
appreciate the shit out of you.
Yep, same in the other direction, and I appreciate anybody listening. Please give us a like, subs, all that kind of shit. Anything you guys do, checking us out, we appreciate it greatly. I'm going to go ahead and say bye to Dave and everybody involved, and I'm out of here. Sign out for us, Dave.
Peace, everybody. We'll see you next week. Get some gabagool.
Gabagool.